Pram remembered how his mother gave her a rapier, saying that it was proof of his father's love for them. However, it started to disintegrate, and Pram woke up from his dream. He was panting while looking stressed as he stared at his rapier. The next morning, Desir brought Pram and Romantica with him to register their party. Romantica was worried, but Desir said that he spoke to the professor in advance, so it was fine. Professor Bridget looked glad that Desir had enough party members. After greeting each other, Professor Bridget served them some tea and sweets. Romantica was amazed by the tea, while Desir had urged Pram to try the sweets, and while he was happily eating it, Romantica thought that he was really adorable. Afterwards, Professor Bridget asked Desir's goal for forming a party. He confidently said that he plans to get promoted to the Alpha class by winning the ranking tournament. His words caught Romantica and Pram's attention, but Professor Bridget asked if he was aware of how difficult it was. Desir knew, but Pram had no idea about it, so he asked Professor Bridget. She explained that in ranking tournaments, parties composed of 3 to 6 members would be fighting each other to gain higher ranks. Romantica thought that it would be unfair for parties with fewer members, so Professor Bridget explained that it wasn't the case since individual achievements would be assessed. And aside from beating their opponents, the key is how much they contributed to their victories. However, it was only for the qualifying rounds, as the winning parties would be participating in the final rounds that take place inside the Shadow Worlds. Those who placed in the top 9 would then be given the title of single rankers and would be promoted to Alpha class. However, no one has ever been promoted before. Romantica thought it wasn't surprising because of the Alpha class unfair advantage. Professor Bridget also thought that it was impossible to get promoted. But Desir said that was the reason why it was worth doing. He wanted the 3 of them to reach the top 9 and prove to the professors that beta classes were not just a bunch of untalented students that were not worth teaching. Professor Bridget jokingly reminded Desir that she was also a professor, but she also hoped that they would be placed in the top 9 to trigger an overhaul of the rotten system at the academy. Afterwards, she asked Romantica and Pram if they still wanted to join Desir's party despite hearing his plan, as all party members' agreements are necessary to form the party. Afterwards, the trio went to the academy's training facilities. Romantica was amazed after seeing the beautiful training rooms for the first time. However, only the Alpha class could use it, and Desir brought them to the room assigned to them. Romantica cried after seeing the rundown interior, while Pram was surprised by how much different it was from the previous rooms they saw. Desir thought that they would like it soon enough. However, countless rats appeared and ran back to their holes. Pram lost consciousness while Romantica climbed up to Desir, but Desir urged that they start cleaning. Romantica was against using the room, and she tried to convince Desir as well, but he just offered to plug the rat hole and leave the cleaning to Romantica. And he said that he was dead set on using the room, so Romantica was speechless while Pram completely lost consciousness. Pram woke up sitting on the stairs. He immediately checked the room. However, he was surprised when it was already cleaned and decorated. He cried while apologizing for not being able to help, but Desir said that it was fine and that they should get going. Romantica thought that they were going back and she could finally shower, but Desir actually wanted to start their training. Romantica wanted to complain, but he reminded her that they needed it to become single rankers. Romantica doubted that she could become a single ranker, as she thought that everyone in the Alpha class was stronger than her. But Desir reminded her how she wanted to uncover his secrets, and he asked what she was going to do. Romantica was annoyed, but she declared that she was going to join, while Pram joined because he wanted to spend time with Desir. After their agreement, Professor Bridget officially approved the formation of their party. Romantica thought that she should have not joined, but she agreed to start training. Desir drew a circle on the wall. He wanted to improve the accuracy of Romantica's magic. She thought she was actually good at it, and she started channeling his magic. Then she blasted it towards the circle after Desir's signal. She was proud that she managed to hit the circle, but Desir wanted all her spells to hit the center of the circle. Romantica thought it was impossible, but Desir said that it was necessary to even have a chance against the Alpha class. Then he recalled how Romantica's future version was capable of doing it, and he told her that she could just clean the room until she graduates if she couldn't do it. Romantica was pissed with his smile again, but she asked what she had to do. Desir drew 2 circles. Romantica stood on one while holding the ball, and Desir asked her to move the ball to the other circle in front of her. Romantica thought she could just throw it, so Desir stopped her and reminded her that she was a mage. Then he asked her to manipulate the air current to move the ball to the other circle. Romantica gave it a try, and after channeling her magic, she managed to launch the ball upwards. Desir was surprised that she got the hang of it on the first try, but he urged her to keep going. while Romantica was happy after receiving a compliment. Afterwards, Desir switched his attention to Pram. Pram was excited to receive Desir's teachings. However, Desir told him that there's nothing he can teach him. Pram was sulking after hearing it, but Desir explained that he had already perfected swordsmanship and was even strong enough to win in ranking tournaments. Pram thought it wasn't true, but he remembered how the Pram from the future tore through his enemies with his rapier. He asked Pram why he was using a great sword during the training instead of a light weapon like a rapier that suits his agility. Pram looked stressed after hearing it, and he asked if he really needed to answer, and Desir said that it concerns the combat skills of the party, so he'd like to know. After hearing this, Pram asked him to come with him. Pram was concerned about Romantica's training, but she was already having fun, so Desir said that he didn't want to interrupt her. Pram thought that Desir really trusted her, but he said that he trusted Pram just as much, so Pram started blushing. Pram explained that his mother was a commoner while his father was a noble, and the only thing he left behind was the rapier he was holding. Desir was certain that it was the weapon used by Pram in the future. He asked to take a look at it, and he was surprised by how light it was. Pram explained that because he had the sword from his father, he started training at the age of 6 because he wanted to be a respectable son fit to wield the sword. However, before his mother passed away, she asked him to never visit his father. He promised to do so, and his mother never mentioned his father's name until the end. Desir knew that she did it to protect Pram. As for nobility, a child with a commoner is a disgrace, so they would get rid of Pram if he visited his father. But Pram enrolled in Hebrion Academy to find his father, as nobles from different countries come to the academy, so he thought he could find some clues. He also tried to get the sword appraised. However, he was told that it had no value as a sword and that it was not something worthy of a noble man. He thought his father didn't really love him and his mother, as the sword that was the proof of his love was just a piece of trash. Afterwards, he declared that he would never use this rapier again. Desir watched as Pram continued to train with the great sword. At the same time, Romantica channeled her magic to control the ball, and she finally managed to hit the circle in front of her. She was proud that she mastered it in 3 days, and Desir praised her. However, he said that it doesn't count since the ball bounced out of the circle. Romantica was pissed, but she was surprised, and she started to blush when Desir suddenly came close to her to stare at her face. Romantica was confused, but Desir just remembered the gift that Donata had given her. Romantica couldn't understand what was going on, but Desir left to talk to Pram. He asked to take a look at Pram's sword again. Pram said that he doesn't care about the sword anymore, so Desir started to plead while saying that he just needed to confirm something. However, Pram said that he couldn't because he had sold the sword already. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and please subscribe so you won't miss the next part. And just comment down any anime you want to see in this channel.